Wrestling fans of the internet, welcome back to another episode of the MainLine at Linwood Wrestling Legends. As always, we are coming to you live and direct from an abandoned warehouse in Linwood. So if you love wrestling as much as we do here at Linwood Wrestling Legends, then you just gotta step on that MainLine. As always, I am your faithful host and color commentator, John. We have got another ridiculously action-packed hour and a half of non-stop wrestling for you. And when I say non-stop, it might stop here and there for a couple of seconds, but that's really for your benefit as much as mine. Nevertheless, let's crack a bottle of off-brand cola and go ringside to see what's shaking and baking this week. Oh wow, it's our men's champ, Hamish Gunn. So that's what he looks like under all that woad paint, and my god, is he wearing pants? Wonder what he's got for us tonight. Oh, I love getting stuff for nothing. It's the best part of being poor right there. It's so important to keep busy. Even a champ needs a hobby. And I, for one, blame lazy booking. Whoever books our shows should be ashamed of themselves. Oh yeah, we got an open challenge. Some would say that's also lazy booking, but we are gonna roll with it. And you gotta wonder who's gonna take the bait. My money is on Ymir the Frost Giant, although I could see Nero looking for a rematch. And let's not forget the great Khan Ogadai Khan, who beat him in a non-title match last year. I am going to be on pins and needles all evening, just waiting to see who's going to step up. But until then, we got 5 matches on the card to draw out the anticipation. And I'm just really hoping that none of those matches involve a Minotaur or a Cyclops, because that right there is what lazy booking looks like. We are kicking this bad boy off with a showdown from 2 of the best in our women's division. And folks, we have got a real clash of styles going on here. On the one hand, we have the queen of the rotor, Fernanda Cavalera, a talented striker with some high-flying skills. On the other hand, we have the technically skilled powerhouse that is the Blue Bomber, Whitney Olivier. I've got no idea which way this one is gonna shake out, but I can almost guarantee that we will see some drama, because that's how we do it in Linwood. So let's go ringside right now and check it out. The following match is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Sao Paulo, Brazil, she is the queen of the rotor, Fernanda Cavalera. Alright, Linwood, we are doing this. Like everything else in this vast universe, we here at Linwood Wrestling Legends are constantly evolving. What we're evolving into, we have no idea, but it's a hell of a ride. I mention this now because sometimes regression is an important part of evolution. As much as we all love Ernie the cameraman's flashy new rig, lately we have seen some of the limitations. So tonight we are chopping, changing and trying something new, and we are hoping it'll be a little more up close and in your face. But just look at those guns on the Queen of the Rotor. She came here tonight to put on a show, and folks, that is exactly what we are going to see from her. Believe it or not, there are a lot of parallels between the Capoeira Rotor and the wrestling ring. Between all the hot dogging and getting one's stuff in, Fernanda Cavalera has made a seamless transition. And her opponent, from Winnipeg, Manitoba in Canada, she is the Blue Bomber. She is Whitney Olivier. Just straight off the bat, this Linwood crowd is not liking the Blue Bomber. Between her volatile temper and penchant for threatening people on social media, it's not hard to see why. I'm sure by now I've told the story of her dangling me by my ankles from a hotel balcony a million times. I just really hope all the likes she got on Instagram from the footage were worth the trauma she inflicted upon me. And speaking of me, you'll be pleased to know that your good buddy John is nearly recovered from that horrible bug he picked up last week. But thanks so much for asking, dear viewer. I can always count on you to brighten my day. But as I was saying, even though Whitney Olivier is one of the best wrestlers on our women's roster, if she doesn't find a way to win over the crowd, she is going to be stuck in mid-card purgatory. And mark my words, folks, school will be very much open on her birthday. And speaking of birthdays, can you believe this show just turned 1 year old? So with that being the case, we are still learning how to crawl and we may occasionally soil our diapers. Referee Hojak von Gunderschnitzelkrumm rings the bell and the Blue Bomber is wasting absolutely no time. This is some brutal stuff and the Queen of the Rotor isn't even getting a look in. Referee Hojak von Gunderschnitzelkrumm has managed to separate them and the Queen of the Rotor wants to continue. So I guess we've still got a match. Blue Bomber coming in hot with a basement dropkick. She is in a particularly bad mood today, and for whatever reason, Fernanda Cavalera is gonna pay the price. Can the Queen of the Rotor even recover from this early blitzkrieg we're seeing? I've got a really bad feeling about this, and the Blue Bomber is lining her up, and there goes the basement shotgun kick. Fernanda looking for safety on the ropes. Whitney Olivier has other ideas, and what are we seeing here? Ow! Guillotine with the rope. And fun fact, the last person to be executed with the guillotine was 1977. I really don't feel like opening up a debate on capital punishment, but you've really got to wonder why that one went out of style. And folks, we do apologize for the weird video game-esque pop-up you're seeing. As always, blame Ernie the cameraman, and Fernanda Cavalera sweeps her off her feet. Missing with the kick, and now the Blue Bomber's got her back. We got the whip into the ropes, and Fernanda saw that one coming. Graceful capoeira kick finds the mark, and there goes the leg drop, equally graceful. And hey, why not a little hot dogging for the crowd? Like I was saying, folks, there are a lot of parallels between capoeira and pro wrestling. Personally, I think it would be really cool if we had a circle of musicians surrounding the ring instead of this slovenly Linwood riffraff. Good gravy, look at that somersault. I mean, do you people at the barricade even know how to play a berimbau? Fernanda is as deadly in the air as she is on the ground, and she is looking to do some damage with that Hurricane Rana. If she's also amphibious and is deadly in the water, that's a trifecta right there, but we have no way of knowing. Unless we flood this abandoned warehouse with the hose out back like I wanted to. I mean, if we were gonna do it anyway to trick Yo-Yo Brown into thinking he's wrestling the Loch Ness Monster, we might as well get a 2-for-1 and find out if Fernanda Cavalera is indeed amphibious. And look at that Pele kick. Going for another kick, but we got the intercept from the Blue Bomber. Whitney Olivier's aggression is not dulled, and she is looking to drive home that early advantage. Blue Bomber gets her by the scruff of the neck, and we are going face first into that turnbuckle. Fernanda gets hipped out of the ring, and I think I know what's coming. This one's a good one, so you better not screw it up, Ernie the cameraman. Good gravy, look at that. Roll it back, Ernie. This diving tornado DDT through the ropes is always a crowd pleaser, and there is a lot that needs to click for this to go right. But the Blue Bomber absolutely stuck the landing. We have taken a merry old adventure onto ye olde cardboard, but this one's gonna have to go back in the ring. Ow! Well, that wasn't very nice now, was it? The Blue Bomber is feeding off the bitterness and resentment of this Linwood crowd. And we are going back in the ring. And you know what, folks? If I was one of these disgusting slobs in the crowd, I'd be bitter and resentful too. We're seeing referee Hojak von Gunderschnitzelkrumm going translucent, but sometimes he does that when he's excited and he can't really help it. And we are about to see another one of the Blue Bomber's tried and trues in the way of this triple powerbomb salvo. As much as the first two may hurt, it's the last one that really does the damage. And I have just received a note from one of Todd's minions. I am being fined for referring to the disgusting slobs in the crowd as disgusting slobs. But if these slovenly oafs can't take a little constructive criticism, how is that my fault? We got a little ballet in the corner and I think... Oh, are we going to see an avalanche? We are seeing something just as cool by way of that inverted head scissors. And here comes the follow-up. There goes the leg sweep. Boom, there goes the rotor kick. Can she get the pin? 1, 2. Ooh, just after a 2. Let's see that again. This combination of a head scissors and a rotor kick is one hell of a 1-2 combination. The queen of the rotor really knows how to put on a show, and she just laid down a clinic. This Linwood crowd is absolutely loving it. The tide of this match is turned and the queen of the rotor is making a comeback. This crowd is chanting fight forever, and I don't think they've really thought that through, but look at that tilt-a-whirl head scissors. A match is only exciting if somebody wins, and how can anybody win if these two are fighting forever? You didn't think about that, now did you? This is why you uggos by the barricade are by the barricade, whereas I am comfy and warm under this announcer's desk. Trapped in the corner, but the Blue Bomber saw that one coming. We got a flurry of strikes, and look at that flapjack. That came out of nowhere. Whitney Olivier is looking to straight up brutalize her opponent. Blue Bomber sticking in the butterfly hooks, and there goes the butterfly suplex. And are you not entertained? Asks the Blue Bomber, probably. We're seeing a bit of back sass, but the queen of the rotor is not having any of it, and she sticks the DDT. Whitney Olivier is probably regretting whatever she said to get banned on Social Sasquatch. Fernanda Cavalera going to work with a flurry of kicks and a lovely Pele kick. And boom goes the Hurricane Rana. Queen of the Rotor looking to go up top, and there goes the double spring moonsault. Olivier is in a lot of pain. And do you have any idea how hard you have to work to actually get banned on Social Sasquatch? That place is an absolute toilet. But for some reason, all our wrestlers love posting on there every chance they get. Fernanda grabs her by the scruff of the neck, and we are going back to the turnbuckle. Blue Bomber had that one scouted, and she is firing back. Fernanda hitting another sweep, and here comes a rotor kick. Is that going to do for the pin? 1, 2. Oh, kick out after the 2. Now we just saw referee Hojak von Gunderschnitzelkron going translucent for a couple of seconds, but like I said before, he can't help that. I promised this guy a workplace free of bullying and name-calling, so if I hear any of you give referee Hojak von Gunderschnitzelkron any grief over this, God help me, there'll be trouble. We got the butterfly hooks again, and there goes another butterfly suplex. Back on our feet, and we got the drive into the corner. Oh, good gravy, I think we're going to see an avalanche after all. I am an absolute sucker for a good avalanche. And there goes the avalanche suplex. Let's see that again. I would give this avalanche a solid 4 out of 5 stars. It's good enough for the highlight reels, but it could be better. Just saying. Blue Bomber letting her opponent know she is still full of rage and maple syrup. And as much as I like maple syrup, there's no way I could chug a whole bottle of it like Whitney Olivier does. Fernanda is not having any of her back sass, and it's straight back into the corner. We got the 1. There's the 2. And we got a suplex off the rebound. And if you think I'm doing a better job on commentary than Michael Cole, then why not give this video a like? And while you're at it, why not subscribe to Linwood Wrestling Legends? Every time you do, a butterfly gets its wings and a puppy gets a treat. Fernanda posting up on Brett's rope, and she is telling the Blue Bomber, stop kicking yourself. Boom goes the Hurricane Rana. Fernanda slipping the ropes, and what has she got planned? Boom, that somersault leg drop really rocked her. I could feel that one from here. And I've got to say, Ernie the cameraman, whatever you're doing is making this feel a lot more up close and in my face. And the Blue Bomber gets nothing but turnbuckle up in her face, and we got another head scissors. Boom! Fernanda looking to go sky high. We're about to see something special, and boom, there it goes, the Espiral. Let's see that again. If I'm not mistaken, Espiral is Portuguese for spiral, but don't quote me on that. Either way, that's got to be the one to do the damage. Let's find out. Fernanda Cavalera says she is done and dusted, but can she get the pin? 1, 2, 3. Fernanda Cavalera takes the win. Let's go see some highlights from Ernie the cameraman. We saw the Queen of the Rotor back in fine form tonight, and I can't tell you what a thrill that is to see. Well, actually, I can tell you. In fact, I'm telling you now. But nevertheless, it was one hell of a show. As was the case many times before, the Blue Bomber's temper got the better of her. It's not my place to suggest anger management, but quite frankly, we've tried everything else, and we are willing to roll the dice at this stage. All in all, this was a great return to form for Fernanda Cavalera. I am really hoping that the Queen of the Rotor gets another shot at that title because she has got talent. And I gotta say, this was a terrific match to open with. Congratulations to the Queen of the Rotor, Fernanda Cavalera. Obviously, nobody beats Sepultura, but she is nevertheless one of Brazil's best cultural exports. How she ended up in a rinky-dink wrestling promotion like this, I have no idea, but I am sure glad she did. And as long as we've got her passport safely stashed away in the safe in Todd's office, she ain't going nowhere. So hands off all you other wrestling promotions, cause she is ours. Next stop on the Violator's revenge list, the hard-boozing hardcore legend, Linwood Knight. Last time around, the hard-boozing hardcore legend took the win. But the Violator is hoping with the black magic of his godmother, La Madrina, maybe the second time will be the charm. Either way, Linwood Knight is fresh from his latest stay at Retox, and they have just taken the ankle bracelet off him a couple of days ago, so he is good to book. Let's go ringside right now and see how this bad boy shakes out. The following match is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, representing Sector del Muerte and accompanied by the godmother La Madrina. From Linwood, Christchurch here in Aotearoa, he is the Violator. Well, I gotta say, folks, the godmother is still looking pretty rough after that beatdown she got last week from the Violator's mom. Oh god, that was horrible. And if you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. But the Violator has nobody to blame but himself for that little debacle. If you just up and decide to get a new mum because she promises you ice cream for breakfast and moustaches, there's a good chance that your existing mum will have something to say about it. The Violator has made his jumbo-sized bed, and I'm afraid all he can do now is lie in it. But what we've got here tonight is the next stop on the Violator's revenge tour. Linwood Knight whooped him good last time these two faced off, so the Violator is looking for some payback. And his opponent, from Linwood, Christchurch, right here in Aotearoa, he is the hard-boozing, hardcore legend. He is the sexiest man in the room, and he is the cockroach of professional wrestling, Linwood Knight. Linwood Knight should be absolutely ashamed of himself, not for anything specific, but just in general. It wouldn't be hard to rattle off a list of specific things, but unfortunately shame is a foreign concept when you're dealing with somebody who wears pants less often than Scrooge McDuck. And believe me, we had to make a lot of concessions just to get him to wear those undies that you're seeing now. Linwood Knight may very well be a veteran of the hardcore wrestling scene, but a lot of that stuff isn't gonna wash when you're trying to make a family-friendly product like we are. And speaking of things that need a wash, I wish you'd stick those undies in for a spin or two, but sometimes we just have to take what we can get. The last time these two faced off, Linwood Knight absolutely smothered the Violator with his offense. And if there's anybody here good at giving offense one way or another, it's Linwood Knight. But has the Violator learned anything since their last brawl? I guess we're gonna find out. More importantly, is his godmother's black magic gonna carry him to victory tonight? Unfortunately, I seem to have misplaced that magic 8-ball I bought from the Coven, so I'm just gonna have to watch and find out. But in all honesty, I am glad I misplaced that magic 8-ball, because that thing was freaking me out. I remember one evening I was asking it, should I get a scoop of chips for dinner tonight? You'd think that'd be a simple yes or no question, but the magic 8-ball told me, and I quote, "You will be stomped to death by elephants." That's a hell of a thing to tell a guy who's just trying to figure out what he should do for dinner. I have sworn off the magic 8-ball, and I am going out of my way to avoid any contact with elephants. So if you see any elephants sneaking through this abandoned warehouse tonight, please let me know. Those two idiots at the door aren't very bright, so it's not out of the question that an elephant could sneak in here without paying. And if one does, believe me, that's going to be the first question our General Manager Todd Sorensen asks. Did the elephant pay? I'm really hoping that this hypothetical situation is one I never have to deal with. But in the wrestling business, never say never. Referee Zekajahira Best Jones rings the bell, and one gets the feeling that Linwood Knight has not taken this seriously, but we have got ourselves a slobber knocker. These two miscreants are looking to beat the chocolate pudding out of each other, and I can say in all honesty that whatever goodwill I had towards the Violator evaporated the moment he joined Sector del Muerte and found himself a new mummy. When you're a commentator in this situation, you're just really hoping that they both hurt each other. We are done with the slobber knocker, and Linwood Knight is making excuses like he's back in court. He's looking to neutralize the Violator with more of that brutal offense, but it doesn't seem to wash. Violator looking to hit that grisly magnum, but Linwood Knight's got the intercept. This is a much more menacing Violator than the one we saw last time, and down goes Linwood Knight with a stiff punch. The Violator starting in with the verbal onslaught. Looking for something off the ropes, and there goes the running hip attack. And I really wish all you folks at home could hear the Violator's voice. It's really weird to hear that voice come out of that guy. We've got the first of what promises to be many foreign objects thrown in the ring, and referee Zekajahira Best Jones has to deal with that nonsense too. Violator hitting the Thez press and going for a frenzied ground and pound. This is no longer the lovable oaf that we know and love. Violator hitting that grisly magnum, and he is revving up. The hard-boozing hardcore legend was not expecting this, and we got a ripcord and a body block. Can he get the early pin? What? Kick out after the what? I am sad to say that I have seen Linwood Knight much more wasted than this, and he is going to need to up his level of inebriation if he wants to hang with this Violator. But all of a sudden we are starting to see a little pushback. Violator gets him by the scruff of the neck, and we are going to the ropes. Up and over the shoulder he goes, and straight up dumped into the ropes. Violator isolating Linwood Knight's right arm and looking to do some damage. The godmother is standing there watching this with delight, but Linwood Knight's got the reversal. Linwood Knight running in, and he shoots with a single leg and the mounted punches. There may be some hope yet for the hard-boozing hardcore legend. Oh, for God's sakes. We can't take him anywhere, can we? The Violator is not taking any of Linwood Knight's crap, and he is squeezing that melon for everything he's got. Down goes Linwood Knight, and that's exactly what should happen if you flip off a paying audience. Violator misses the senton. Nothing pretty here, folks. Just Linwood Knight slamming his opponent's head against the mat. And with everybody saying, Linwood Knight, yeah! Oh God, I can't believe he's still ripping off LA Knight's thing. The Violator is not having any of Linwood Knight's intellectual property theft. Can he get the pin? What? Ooh, kick out after the what? We just saw referee Zekajahira Best Jones going translucent for a second there, and you have to wonder, is this going to be a thing for all of our referees? Sure, it'd be nice if they didn't do it, but, you know, there's not really much we can do about it. Nobody puts Linwood Knight in the corner, but the Violator is gonna try. Vicious rake to the back. The Godmother is absolutely loving this, and she is gonna love this Violator Claw Slam. What a brutal move. But as we all know, the worst is yet to come, and here it comes. Boom, there goes the Bum Bum Squash. We got a 1, 2, and a kick out after the 2, but let's see that again. And folks, whatever the opposite of fan service is, this is it. Nobody needs to see the Bum Bum Squash more than once. So thank you very much, Ernie the cameraman, and we really need to get him to think of a better name for that move. Letting these wrestlers name their own moves has been nothing but trouble. The Violator is not playing around, and Linwood Knight eats the turnbuckle. Linwood Knight trapped in the corner, and the Violator is hitting those shoulder charges. And why not raise the roof? But it gets much worse from here, folks. The Violator is about to weaponize his gigantic ass again, and there's nothing more scary, let me tell you that. Well, maybe getting stomped to death by elephants, but getting squashed by the Violator is more or less the same thing. Linwood Knight rolls out of the ring, and it would have made much more sense for the Magic 8 Ball to tell me you will be squashed to death by the Violator. Then again, I don't want to be giving that Magic 8 Ball any funny ideas. Shot across the bow from the watch it, watch it, guys. How many times do we, no, How many times do I have to tell you idiots there is a commentator hiding under this desk? I'm staying out of your way, can you please stay out of mine? And mercifully, we are going back in the ring. Violator getting laid out by a stiff shot. The hard-boozing hardcore legend is looking to turn the screws, and what is he planning now? The Violator is slowly climbing to his feet. Linwood Knight looking for a kick off the slingshot, and he sticks to the landing. It's been a long time since either of these wrestlers has had their backs shaved, but now I'm wondering if that's something we should look into doing. Violator goes into the corner, and now I'm wondering if a back hair versus back hair match is something we can actually do. Violator looking to stick the choke and rip his opponent's spine out through his throat, just like he did that one show in Timaru. True story. The Violator came here tonight to make a point, and he is absolutely making it. He is no longer the big corpulent teddy bear we all know and love, and he will not be pushed around. Linwood Knight getting the reversal and sending him into the corner. We got the run up and the body splash. Down goes the Violator, but can Linwood Knight get the pin? What? Kick out after the 1. You're gonna have to do better than that. And that is exactly what he's trying with that falling headbutt. Remember kids, don't try that one at home. And here's something else you shouldn't try at home. Boom, there goes the Bro Buster. Can he get the pin? Not this time around, but let's see that again. The Bro Buster is a move that comes about when you're trying to figure out how to do a pile driver, but you're just too sherbet-faced to make it stick. Linwood Knight! Yeah, okay, you got me that time. See, even the most iron-willed of us can be browbeaten and worn down. The Godmother, La Madrina, is distracting Linwood Knight, and God only knows what those two could be talking about. The hard-boozing hardcore legend lets his guard down, and the Violator is taking full advantage. Good gravy, look at that. Can he get the pin? 1, 2. Kick out after the 2, but we are getting closer and closer. And oh god, we're gonna see another one of these. Boom, there goes the Bum Bum Squash, and we got the 1, 2, and a 3. The Violator takes the win. Let's go see some highlights from Ernie the cameraman. This time around, the Violator came in meaning business. He is determined to shake his previous image of being lovable and cuddly, and he wants the rest of the roster to know he is amply equipped to dish out the brutality and the Bum Bum Squashes in equal measure. I still think he looks absolutely ridiculous with that moustache, but now I'm wondering if the Magic 8 Ball was using the word elephant as a metaphor for the Violator, in which case I do not want to be casting aspersions on his choice of facial hair. After getting some payback against the Boxburg Butcher last week, and Linwood Knight this week, one has to wonder, what's next for the Violator? Well, tonight it's probably something involving ice cream, but next week we shall have to see. So congratulations to the Violator on his win tonight. While I should wish the Godmother La Madrina a speedy recovery, she's a horrible person and I don't like her. She should be absolutely ashamed of herself for how she's corrupted our once lovable Violator. I can only hope the Violator eventually comes to his senses and realizes who his real friends are. Hell yeah, it's always great to see Lady Liberty. And with all due respect to our boy Hamish Gunn, this is what a champion looks like. I can't tell you how happy it makes me to see her with that belt. If I didn't already hate Mama Dixon, that right there is a good reason to start. What an absolute toilet of a mother. For those unfamiliar with the term, an outlaw mud show is what the great Jim Cornette would call those backyard death matches. Damn! As far as burns go, that was thermonuclear. If this was a movie, Lady Liberty would be dropping the mic right about now. I can only imagine how cathartic this must be for Maggie Dixon. And you know what? She's earned it. And good God, call the ICU because we got another serious burn. Lady Liberty's mic skills are just as good as her wrestling skills. She's got it all. Oh, who saw that coming? My God, the mouth we're seeing of Mama Dixon. That must have been a really bad word if they censored all the letters. I think we all know that's a load of bull sugar, Mama Dixon. Every superhero has an origin story, and Lady Liberty's begins with Mama Dixon's liquor flu. Whoever's got to bleep out Mama Dixon's potty mouth is working overtime. Oh hell yeah, we got a Linwood death match. I cannot wait to see this. But I'm gonna have to until next week. I have never heard of a champion making their first defense in a Linwood death match, but if anyone can pull it off, it's Lady Liberty. As much as we here at Linwood Wrestling Legends hate to be the purveyors of blonde-on-blonde violence, sometimes conflicts are inevitable. We have the return of the Shield Maiden Skade, and she has taken issue with Miss Venice Beach, Candice Deveraux. Both the contenders are ready to rumble, and this one is about to get real. So let's go ringside right now and check it out. The following match is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Venice Beach, California in the United States, she is Miss Venice Beach, Candice Deveraux. All hail our rightful queen, Miss Venice Beach, Candice Deveraux. I'm not usually a big fan of royalty, but this is a monarch I can absolutely get behind. Unlike the monarch butterfly, which shows up every year to descend on my mum's house and eat all her swan plants. And because my mum's a good person, when those run out, she's right to the warehouse to buy some more swan plants, which get subsequently devoured. And then before you know it, you've got caterpillars everywhere. And while I don't begrudge the monarch butterfly its existence, it's really got to find a better means of survival than sponging off of my mum's generosity. As a son, that's my job, and quite frankly, I resent the intrusion of these winged interlopers. So there you go, folks. I bet you didn't have that one on your bingo card. Your old buddy John coming out here to crap all over monarch butterflies. And her opponent, representing the Great Heathen Army, from Bergen, Norway, she is the Shield Maiden, Skade. Technically speaking, we should be spelling Skade's name with Ormlorts. But to do that, we would have to invest in some kind of fancy Norwegian keyboard, which could run us tens of dollars. Our general manager Todd Sorensen is a bit tight with the old purse strings, so that is never gonna happen. But rest assured, folks, The mighty sword that the Shield Maiden holds aloft is the most realistic one we could afford on our budget. It might not be sharp enough to sever limbs, but it'll probably hurt if you whack somebody really hard with it. But then again, you could probably say the same thing about pool noodles, which is why I have always maintained that pool noodles should be banned immediately. There's probably a lot of fatalities you can attribute to pool noodles throughout the year, but the papers do a damn good job of covering it up. Referee Hojak von Gunderschnitzelkrumm rings the bell and Miss Venice Beach is trying to rally all her loyal subjects. Likewise, Skade is trying to rally all the auxiliary members of the Great Heathen Army, and now we've got a stare down. We are about to see some blonde on blonde violence, and I think it's time to increase the peace, folks. But there will be no talk of peace tonight unless it's a piece of the opponent's scalp. That was really dark, John. Why'd you have to go there? And we are starting things off with a good old-fashioned slobber knocker. And to answer all you miscreants in the comments, no, we will not be bottling and mailing any slobber from Miss Venice Beach or the Shield Maiden to you. We are not that kind of promotion, and you people make me sick. Unfortunately, you people also make this promotion money, so we have to accommodate you somehow. But we're not doing that. Miss Venice Beach taking an early lead. It's still anybody's game, but this could be a much-needed victory for Miss Venice Beach. But then again, Skade has the height and the strength advantage, so who knows? And Miss Venice Beach into the corner, and look at that! Quite the flashy clothesline from Skade, but can she get the early pin? What? And a kick out after the one. Shield Maiden looking to take advantage of her down foe, but Miss Venice Beach has other ideas. And here's a great idea from Candice Deveraux, a gut-wrench suplex. Miss Venice Beach making derisive comments about her downed opponent, but really, is there any need for that? We got the snapmare. Miss Venice Beach looking to take advantage, but we got the counter from the Shield Maiden. Up we go into the fireman's carry, and where is she taking her? Snake Eyes into the turnbuckle. Skade going to work, trampling her downed opponent. Looking to apply a little pressure to Candice Deveraux's neck, and down she goes. We are back on our feet, and the beauty queen is not having any of her nonsense. And if you think the women's locker room at this wrestling promotion is rough, it's got nothing on the beauty pageant circuit, or so Candice Deveraux tells us. There are many reasons she's no longer in that circuit, mostly involving haymakers and suplexes to other girls, but their loss is our gain. Miss Venice Beach hitting that leg drop from the top rope. I hope she's been keeping up with that yoga, because those leg drops are murder on the spine. Skade catches the kick, and we are going for the ground and pound. We're seeing another early pin attempt, and can she pull it off? 1, 2. Oh, we got a rope break. While most of my brilliant ideas get ignored, I'm glad that our general manager Todd Sorensen took my suggestion to bring in referee Hojak von Gunderschnitzelkrumm, because he is doing an amazing job, and we got a power slam into the mat. We have yet to see referee Tom Herb this week, but I'm sure he'll turn up somewhere, hopefully not all in one piece. Oh god, that was dark. Why did I go there? While I probably wouldn't feel that bad if referee Tom Herb was dismembered, there are probably lines I shouldn't cross, and look at that backbreaker from Skade the Shield Maiden. Skade posting up on the middle rope. Ooh, down goes the body splash, but Miss Venice Beach gets the knees up. Leg lariat comes out of nowhere, knocks her cold. And a lovely curtsy from Miss Venice Beach. And let us not forget that referee Tom Herb was the architect of the Linwood Screwjob last year. So Miss Venice Beach knows what I'm talking about, and we're about to see it. Nope, no we're not. We got the reversal. I thought we were going to see the beauty crown there, but we are about to see something just as cool. Just look at that raw strength on display. This is a giant middle finger to gravity. And down we go. Man, I felt that one from here. Can she get the pin? 1, 2. Kick out after the 2, but let's see that again. It's not every day we get to see a really cool move reversed into another really cool move, but we saw it today. Usually it's a cool move being reversed into a rubbish move, or a rubbish move being reversed into a cool move, or a rubbish move being reversed into a rubbish move, but we got lucky this time around. And speaking of rubbish, we have officially cleared out our former champion Kimberly Sullivan's private dressing room. Into the corner goes Miss Venice Beach, and we got a run up and another snazzy clothesline from Skade the Shield Maiden. And to speak further on the subject of rubbish, monarch butterflies. They need to all get a job and stop sponging off my mum. Skade going for the haymaker, but we got the counter from Miss Venice Beach. Into the backpack she goes, and boom goes the facebuster. Miss Venice Beach with a dainty little whirl, and a painful snap to the arm. Candice Deveraux showing a little contempt to her fallen Scandinavian foe. Up we go into the fireman's carry. And what's good for the goose is good for the gander, and it's Skade's turn to get the snake eyes. Skater is trapped in the corner, and we got the run-up and the basement drop kick from Miss Venice Beach. The Shield Maiden is starting to look a little worse for wear, and Miss Venice Beach posting up on Brett's throat. Skater slowly rising to her feet, she gets a cheeky kick in the face, but Miss Venice Beach whiffing the drop kick. The Shield Maiden giving a little insult to injury, driving that boot into the face of Miss Venice Beach. And folks, how would you like it if I showed up at your house with all my homies and started eating all your swan plants? I don't think you'd care for that at all. And Miss Venice Beach did not care for that. Now granted, I don't have a lot of homies, but the homies I do have can put away a lot of swan plants. Miss Venice Beach trapped in the corner, and Skater is applying the pressure. The Shield Maiden is revving up, and maybe she can still take the victory after all. Skater taking the boots to Candice Deveraux, and she is not letting up. It's looking dire for Miss Venice Beach. Skater going for the stomp, but Miss Venice Beach has other ideas. Those 6-inch platform heels are made for kicking, and Miss Venice Beach with a clever roll-up. 1! Kick out after the 1. We may have another slugging match on our hands. Skater hitting the stunner. As the Spartans used to say, Skater is coming home with her shield or on it. It never occurred to the ancient Spartans that one might need to trade their shield for supplies after a victorious battle. Are we going to see an avalanche? Apparently not. And if trading one's shield for supplies seems far-fetched, bear in mind that at one point the Spartans outlawed currency, so what choice would you have? Look at that, lead lariat from nowhere. Can she get the pin? 1, 2, 3. Miss Venice Beach takes the win. Let's go see some highlights from Ernie the cameraman. After seeing a bit of a slump in her career lately, this match could be just the turning point Miss Venice Beach needed to propel her back to the top. I've always maintained that as long as she doesn't have to face Lady Liberty, Candice Deveraux could be a contender for our Women's World Championship. But fair play to Skade the Shield Maiden. That last leg lariat came from out of nowhere and clocked her good. If she'd have had her head on a swivel to see that one coming, who knows, maybe this match could have ended differently. But I guarantee she won't be making that same mistake again. And you've really got to hand it to Miss Venice Beach. With moves like that, all that yoga has obviously been paying off. Congratulations to Miss Venice Beach, Candice Deveraux, on her victory tonight. Our queen is thanking all her loyal subjects, and it's a sight you just love to see. If this match is going to be a turning point for Miss Venice Beach, I can't wait to see what comes next. And whoever her next opponent is, they really need to watch out for that leg lariat. We saw Las Sicarias become the new women's tag champs last week. With that, we have a change in the landscape and the other tag teams vying for position. Xenia and Shawnee of the Coven are desperate to turn their losing streak around. On the other hand, we have Brandybella. Brandy Dixon is looking to hurt somebody and possibly set them on fire, whereas her friend and tag partner Hannibal is obeying the will of Mr. Tickles, the hand puppet that tells her what to do and what to think. There is always a possibility that we will see Tickle Time come out before this match is over, and there is a good chance this match could go horribly off the rails. So let's go ringside right now and check it out. The following tag match is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, accompanied by Helena, from Salem, Massachusetts in the United States of America, Xenia and Shawnee are the Coven. They are vicious, delicious, and a little superstitious. They are the Coven. But after 2 straight losses, one has to wonder, are their magical powers failing them? I don't want to insult them by asking that, because Shawnee once turned me into a toad. I got better, and yes, that is a Monty Python reference. But as I mentioned before, I'm having a little buyer's remorse about that magic 8-ball I purchased off them. Between the Jonesy voodoo doll, protective magic eggs, and back hair removal products, I've purchased a few knickknacks off the Coven over the years. But this is the first time I've ever wanted my money back. Let me put it this way, folks. Just pretend you're a short, hairy, middle-aged man. Doesn't feel good, does it? Now just pretend you purchase a magic 8-ball because you need a little help answering those difficult questions like what should I get for dinner? But every time you come at it with a question, the magic 8-ball keeps foretelling your doom and telling you you will be stomped to death by elephants. Don't get me wrong, folks, I'll take the magic 8-ball any day of the week over any AI you care to mention. And by now you should know my feelings on AI. But there's only so many times a person can be told they will be stomped to death by elephants before they just give up and accept the inevitable. And good people of Linwood, that is exactly where I'm at. And their opponents, from Libertyville, Alabama in the United States, Brandy Dixon and Hannibella are Brandybella. I gotta admit, that pyro is pretty badass, and it kinda makes me wonder, it's been a really long time since we've seen Brandy Dixon set another human being on fire. It makes me wonder if she's feeling okay. But who knows, maybe tonight will be the night. When Brandy Dixon steps in the ring, you just never know what's gonna happen. And with her unlikely friend and tag partner Hannibella, it also raises a very interesting question. Do you open with a shock troop approach to sow havoc among the enemy's legions, which will be Brandy Dixon? Or do you advance the shield wall that is Hannibella and let your opponent dash themselves on the rocks? These are important questions that I would normally take to my magic 8-ball, but right now I'm a little scared to pick it up. But don't let this commentator's superstition stop you from picking up some merch at our merch stand. Referee Hojack von Gundish Nisselkrum rings the bell, and apparently we are opening with a shield wall that is Hannibella. As much as everybody hates the sound of their own voice when they hear it recorded, it does make me wonder. What would happen if an AI developer tried to program a voice and they came out with my voice? How badly would they have to screw up to make that happen? Can you get rid of that god-awful New Zealand accent? No sir, we can't. That is a feature and not a bug. Something like that would ruin the whole AI voice racket overnight, which is why I think they should absolutely do it. But let's get back to the match. Xenia is gonna have quite the task wearing down the giant Hannibella. And one also has to wonder, will Brandy and Hannibella try any shenanigans next week with Mama Dixon's deathmatch? And over the ropes goes Xenia. I have seen a lot of deeply unsettling things in my time as a commentator, and Hannibella is absolutely one of them. And we are taking a merry journey outside onto the cardboard. To be honest, I don't think I've ever heard a single word from Hannibella. Usually she communicates through Mr. Tickles, the puppet on her right hand that tells her what to think and what to do, and Xenia gets whiffed into the barricade. Mr. Tickles is not a happy puppet tonight, and he is egging on Hannibella to do some dastardly deeds, but we are going back in the ring. If we're being honest, folks, don't we all wish we could surrender our autonomy to a Mr. Tickles-like puppet of our own? Xenia is getting driven into the corner, and we are about to see some teamwork. Brandy Dixon going up to the top rope, and ow, that was just mean. If somebody jumped on Brandy's back, I bet she wouldn't like it. I don't know why, she thinks this is acceptable behavior. But then again, we just met her mama and we got the single knee code breaker. Xenia is not going down easy, and there goes the dragon screw. And Hojack, my man, you are doing an outstanding job as a referee. I told you this was the place to come work, and we got a sloppy collision. Brandy going super low with that basement shotgun dropkick. We got a little tussle and bustle going on, but Xenia is kicking out. Brandy gets the whip into the corner, and we got some teamwork from the Sisters of Sorcery. Nothing fancy going on here, just a face breaker in stereo. Out of the two, Shawnee is way more of a scrapper, so this one might turn a little ugly. But Brandy is beating her to the punch with that bionic elbow. Sometimes it's hard for a tiny little body like Brandy's to contain all that rage, and some of it's just gotta seep out. We got another drive into the corner, and what's coming next? Oh, are we gonna see an avalanche? Brandy's posting up. Looks like she's going for the Hurricane Rana. Oh, how embarrassing that was. Shawnee follows up with the dropping axe handle. Let's see that again. This one might not be the worst blooper we've ever seen, thank you Jonesy, but it's still good enough for our blooper reels. I can't wait till our sound tech Vivian cuts it to some wacky music. Can Shawnee get the pin? 1, 2, and Hannibella breaks it up at the last second. That was a very close shave for our little firebug. Brandy is gonna need to make the tag soon. Shawnee firing off, but Brandy is countering back. And we got another drive into the corner. And here comes some more teamwork. And ladies, I gotta say, that right there is some real low effort crap. You guys have been watching too many Cockney pickpockets matches. Hannibella back on the attack, and Shawnee is paying the price. Mr. Tickles is out for blood tonight. And good gravy, look at that flapjack. Can we ever slake the bloodthirst of Mr. Tickles? And folks, besides just taking my good word for it, it should be obvious that there is no AI whatsoever in this show, and we got the tag. If I was going to pick an AI voice, why the hell would I choose this one? Brandy Dixon gets used as a projectile and clocks Shawnee. Let's see that again. Normally, I would advise against using one's friends as projectiles, but somehow, some crazy way, these two make it work. There is absolutely no faking the rage in Brandy Dixon. Brandy hitting the snap mirror and probably looking to snap anything else she can grab. We are seeing a lot of collar and elbow work and a lot of driving into corners. And if you're going to drive into a corner, stick on the handbrake. Brandy going up the trapeze, and look at that tornado DDT. Surprisingly competent wrestling from Brandy, and Xenia gets the hot tag. Shawnee's body is serving as a barricade, but Xenia makes the jump and she is kicking back. The Sisters of Sorcery may still have a little magic up their sleeves. Brandy is stunned on the ropes. And what do we got here? Out of the ring she goes. Xenia is revving up. Ooh, and we gotta slide through the ropes, and we are onto the cardboard once again. This crowd is doing a bang-up job of staying behind the barricade where they belong. And I gotta say, it's refreshing, looking out into a crowd and not seeing a sea of cell phones. Call me a cantankerous old man, but those damn things have ruined everything. Don't even get me started on cell phones at the gym. If you thought my 11-page dissertation on Duran Duran's wedding album was a time filler, oh boy, you ain't seen nothing yet. I got 27 pages and counting on cell phones at the gym, and one day you will hear it. I promise you that much. We got a pull cue in the ring, but Xenia is going for the rolling guillotine choke, and we got a rope break. That was a lot to happen in a short time. And once again, one has to wonder, why did the guillotine go out of style? Xenia going for the pin. 1. We got some timely intervention from Hannibella, and we are back on our way. Brandy has taken an absolute flogging in this match, and if she's smart, she'll make the tag to Hannibella ASAP. But now she goes into the corner. Tag is denied. And speaking of things that have taken a flogging, I've got a note from management here. Could whoever left the floater in the ladies' toilets please clean it up, because it's starting to freak people out. Into the corner Brandy goes, and we got the tag. Once again, nothing fancy going on here. Just a face breaker in stereo, and who put that chair there? Shawnee going to work with that cloverleaf, and looking to snap one of Brandy's skinny little chicken legs. Brandy got a good stretch out of that one, and all she can do is walk it off. Brandy is down, and Shawnee is revving up for something, but Brandy gets the slip and gives the tag. Or is that gives the slip and gets the tag? Nah, it's too early in the morning. Hannibella is looking to get a little payback for her friend, but Shawnee is firing back. Hannibella hits the jawbreaker. Hannibella going low, getting her up onto the shoulders, and boom goes the Alabama slam. For now, the bloodlust of Mr. Tickles has been satisfied, but who knows what may come. Shawnee is laid up in the corner and looking in a bad way. Hannibella driving that big size 12 boot straight onto her neck. Shawnee has been put through the grinding mill, and for Hannibella, this is all grist for the mill. Mr. Tickles going for the choke slam, and we are going straight into a lung blower. That was brutal. Roll that one back, Ernie. There is no phrase in the English language that fills me with more dread than the phrase, "It's tickle time." And I'm hoping that's the end of tickle time. Otherwise, that's just more material for the book that my therapist is writing. Shawnee is clapping back and making Hannibella pay. Hannibella has barely got a scratch on her, and she is taking it in stride. We are back into the corner, and we have got the tag. Oh god, I got a bad feeling about this one, folks, and I think we're going to see it. We got the double arm ringer. Oh god, that was the wishbone. That was uncomfortable to watch. Let's watch it again. This move makes me wince every time, and if I have to watch it all over again, so do all of you. Why should only John the commentator suffer? Is the wishbone going to do it for the pin? We have a pin broken up by Xenia. We are into the weeds of this match, and if the Coven have any magic tricks, they better break them out right now. Oh my god, Hojak, are you okay? Referee Hojak von Gunderschnitzelkrumm is down. I repeat, Brandy Dixon, that is absolutely disgusting. Spitting spreads germs. Thankfully, Shawnee is not having any of that, and she is kicking back. Folks, I apologize for what you just saw from Brandy Dixon. I'm not gonna lie, seeing that reprehensible behavior makes me a little bit more attracted to her, but that's my problem and I'll deal with it. But there are some things that just do not wash in a wrestling match, and that there is one of them. We got another whip into the corner, and here comes some more teamwork. Once again, nothing fancy here, just a backstabber in stereo, and that rocked her good. I can feel that from here. Xenia going up top. Good gravy, look at that elbow drop. Can she get the pin? What? Oh, kick out. How the hell does that happen? The Coven is determined to make Brandy pay for her reprehensible manners, and you know what, folks? I hope they do. Hell, if I get fined every time I say something General Manager Todd Sorensen doesn't like, something should bloody well happen to these wrestlers too. Brandy probably should have made that tag to Hannibella a long time ago, but hindsight is always 20/20, and she is tasting the pain. All Hannibella can do at this stage is stand on the sidelines and watch her friend get brutalized. And sometimes that's all any of us can do. We got the whip into the corner, and the tag is denied. We're seeing a bit more of that good gravy. Referee Hojak von Gunderschnitzelkrumm is down again. What are they doing to you, Hojak? We have another pool cue in the ring, but that is the least of their problems. Somebody really needs to check on referee Hojak von Gunderschnitzelkrumm, and this is not the bullying-free environment I promised him. But he is okay, folks. And we got the whip into the corner. We're going to see some more teamwork, and I get the feeling this is going to be good. Up into the fireman's carry goes Brandy. We got the rollover. Xenia on the middle rope. Boom! That was the Black Swan. Can they get the pin? 1, 2, 3. The Coven take the win. Let's go see some highlights from Ernie the cameraman. Once again, the real star in this match was referee Hojak von Gunderschnitzelkrumm, who took an absolute pummeling but managed to get back up every time. He is an absolute trooper. We saw some absolutely deplorable yet perversely attractive behavior from Brandy Dixon. But at the end of the day, it was her arrogance that doomed her. If she had made the tag to Brandybella a little earlier, who knows? Maybe this match could have ended differently. Congratulations to Xenia and Shawnee from the Coven. It's gotta feel good to finally break the losing streak. They've got a long way to go if they ever want to see those title belts again, but this is a good first step. The Sisters of Sorcery are back in the game and their magic powers are firing on all cylinders. And with that being said, if I can't get my money back for that magic 8-ball, I want a charm that protects me against elephants. Ever since their arrival at Linwood Wrestling Legends, the Kalishnikov brothers have brutalized all the other teams in their way. And the next stop tonight is Los Satanicos, and they are hoping to make it a hat trick. Can our former champions Elio and Seraphine of Los Satanicos tap into some of that black magic that put them at the top in the first place? Or are they just going to be another speed bump in the way of this Trans-Siberian Express? Let's go ringside right now and find out. The following tag match is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Rostov-on-Don, Siberia in Russia, Nikolai Kalishnikov and Grigory Kalishnikov are the Kalishnikov brothers. We have seen these two Siberian powerhouses steamroll over their last two matches, but can they make it a hat trick? If they can get a win tonight, they are off to challenge Urban Legion for the men's tag championships. If not, it's back to the mid-card like the boys in Bloodthorn. And folks, for a wrestler, there is nothing worse than being stuck in the mid-cards. If you're at the bottom of the pack, you know you're at the bottom of the pack and you know what you gotta do to get out. If you're in the mid-cards, you're waiting around for an opportunity that may or may not come. And when there's no more room in the mid-cards, the gates of hell will spew forth. Or something equally poetic. That one sounded much better in my head. And their opponents. Representing Sector del Muerte. From Matamoros, Mexico, Elio and Seraphine are Los Satanicos. It's hard to believe that once upon a time, Los Satanicos were the men's tag champions at the same time the godmother La Madrina was the world's women's champion. Much like the hair metal bands of the 80s who fell by the wayside when grunge came along, how the mighty have fallen. Those hair metal bands thought that gravy train would never stop, but when Kurt Cobain and friends brought it to a crashing halt, they just bided their time and hoped the gravy train would come around again. They waited around that train station year after year for the gravy train to come back, but nobody ever told them it had been decommissioned, stripped for parts, and sold to the scrap metal dealers. But who knows? One only hopes that Los Satanicos have better luck than bands like Warrant, Winger, and Firehouse. Referee Henrietta Sorensen rings the bell and Seraphine comes rushing in and sticks the DDT. He is hoping that Los Satanicos will have the same kind of lasting appeal that Guns N' Roses did, but Guns N' Roses were a once-in-a-generation anomaly and Los Satanicos are not. Grigory Kalishnikov stretching the armbar, and the best Seraphine can hope for is to maybe have the lasting appeal that bands like Bon Jovi and Def Leppard did, except they wrote better songs. Nothing that Los Satanicos have ever done comes close to Bon Jovi or Def Leppard, but you gotta love them for trying. And say what you will about Def Leppard, but you can pry my vinyl copy of High and Dry from my cold dead hand, and look at that stunner from Seraphine. I hate to sound like a negative Nancy here, folks, but Los Satanicos will never have a match as good as the guitar solo from November Rain. Seraphine trapping his opponent in the corner and trying to neutralize that size and strength advantage. It's early days yet, but I can see the Kalishnikov brothers someday having a match as good as Appetite for Destruction, and we got the tag. Seraphine going for the avalanche. There goes the Hurricane Rana straight into the powerbomb, and let's see that again. This is a 1-2 combination that somehow takes advantage of these two brothers' different skill sets. On a scale of 0 to Guns N' Roses, I give it a quiet riot. Elio telling his opponent to come on, feel the noise. Elio might be able to hang with these two brothers in terms of size and strength, but he is not liking that drop. But honestly, who would? That's murder on the old tailbone right there. Unfortunately, there is no way I can compare the Kalishnikovs to any band for the purpose of analogy, and we got the tag to Nikolai. We're about to see some teamwork from these Siberian powerhouses, and we got the Wasteland Slam. Boom! Rolling senton, roll it back, Ernie. But if I were to compare the Kalishnikovs to any band, it would be Sepultura. A bunch of scrappy guys from a really faraway place who brutalize everything in their path. And here we see Nikolai straight up brutalizing Elio. I made my point, and we got the tag to... God damn it. 3 matches in, and I should be able to pronounce Grigori's name. I'll get there, folks, and we got the tag to Seraphine. Grigori steps back into the ring, and he's got Seraphine's number with that gigantic pounce. And rest assured, folks, that if you go to the merch stand, we've got your number, although maybe not your size. Our Violator shirts only come in 5XL because we know our market. And we got the drive into the corner from Seraphine. Seraphine looking to neutralize that side advantage and make use of his high-flying skills with that Tornado DDT. And on the subject of knowing your market, why does WWE waste money making Jey Uso's merch in adult sizes? Seraphine trying to look menacing towards Nikolai, and he clocks Grigori with the kick. Sticking the Hurricane Rana. We are seeing that Lucha Libre background come out in full force, and I've got to say, I have been enjoying AAA lately. You didn't think I was going to say anything positive, but credit where credit's due. The Undertaker is doing a really fantastic job of booking that show, and Seraphine is doing a fantastic job of keeping Grigori on his toes. And it begs the question, why can't they bring the Undertaker back to the main show and have him do all the booking? And we got Nikolai sticking that crucifix. 1. Kick out after the 1. Seraphine looking to make that hot tag, but Nikolai is not letting him. When your opponent seeks to go to ground, leave him no ground to go to. That's some basic Sun Tzu right there. We are having another merry old adventure on the cardboard, and if you boys could stay away from this announcer's desk, I would very much appreciate it. Seraphine looking to get out from under Nikolai's thumb. Misses with the kick, but the second one finds the mark. Good golly, Miss Molly, corkscrew shooting star press. Let's see that again. Nobody does the high flying quite like the luchadors, and this is Exhibit A right here. As cool as that was, they are gonna want to move this back to the ring ASAP. We're seeing some collar and elbow work, and we are going back in the ring. You know what else is great about AAA? I can watch it for free on YouTube, just like you're doing with this show right now. And if you want to keep watching this show for free, then you better be hitting that subscribe button, or else. Seraphine gets whipped into the corner, and we see another tag. Up and over the shoulder he goes from Nikolai. Nikolai grabs Grigori, and what the hell was that? Let's see that again. As cool as that assisted body splash was, it's also the kind of move you only do to prove you can. And these guys sure did. There is no denying the brute strength of the Kalishnikov brothers. I can't remember the last time we had 2 brothers facing 2 other brothers, but what we got right here is a whole lot of brotherly love. But there is absolutely nothing loving about what Grigori is doing to Seraphine, and look at that gut-wrench suplex. We got a tag to Nikolai. And with all due respect to his brother, it's much easier for me when Nikolai is in the ring, because I can pronounce his name. Into the corner Seraphine goes, and down he goes. Can he get the pin? 1. Kick out after the 1. I also like to imagine somewhere in Siberia there's a short middle-aged commentator named Ivan who struggles to pronounce English-sounding names. Into the corner Seraphine goes, and we got the tag to... God damn it, I'll get it one of these days. We got the alley-oop from Nikolai into a Samoan drop. I can also imagine Ivan the commentator saying Boże moi, which I believe is Russian for good gravy, and Boże moi, look at that splash. I don't know what kind of off-brand cola they have in Siberia, but it's probably got Cyrillic letters on the label. And that's what Ivan the commentator drinks. Well, I'm sure that the off-brand cola there has much more uranium in it. I think I'd still prefer the off-brand cola we've got here. I mean, I wouldn't feel very patriotic drinking off-brand cola made in some foreign barbaric place like Australia. We got the drive into the corner from Seraphine. And we got the tag to Elio. The brothers are circling their prey like hungry velociraptors. Elio gets him in the wheelbarrow. We got the facebuster and backwards into a suplex. Now that's teamwork. And with all due respect to velociraptors, has there ever been a cooler dinosaur than the Ankylosaurus? I think not. Much like yours truly, the Ankylosaurus was an ornery, solitary herbivore with thick armor plating and a club at the end of its tail. What you might not know is that the Ankylosaurus was actually a pretty good swimmer, and they also had deep bass voices that they would use to impress the lady Ankylosauruses, so they were like the Barry Whites of the dinosaur world, and look at that leg drop from Elio. And as I found out playing the Jurassic World games, which are totally accurate simulations, even a pack of velociraptors isn't stupid enough to take on a lone Ankylosaurus, and right into the ropes goes Grigori. It can be a little hard to level up a herbivore like an Ankylosaurus that doesn't start fights, so the trick is to pick a really stupid carnivore and feed him to the Ankylosaurus, which is exactly what I did to my Ankylosaurus. Grigori looking to take the pin. 1, 2. Kick out after the 2, but we are getting closer and closer. So folks, in a nutshell, John the commentator and the Ankylosaurus, 2 peas in a pod, and look at that gory flatliner. Named after Gory Guerrero, who doesn't get nearly enough respect from the annals of wrestling. We are back on our feet once again, and we are seeing a lot of driving into that corner. If I was Elio's driving instructor, I would have flunked him for that, but we got the tag to Seraphine. We saw something similar in the women's tag match earlier, and once again we see another wrestler used as a projectile. Let's see it again. While Brandy Dixon had a flying shoulder tackle, this one, courtesy of Air Seraphine, is a good old-fashioned assisted splash. And what a splash that made. And if you want to make a big splash, why not pick up a t-shirt at our merch stand? We got a little sneaky teamwork from Los Satanicos, knocking Grigori prone into the corner. Boom! Rammed into the post. Grigori is down, but he is shooting for that takedown and racking him, stacking him, and we got the 1, and we got a reversal. And another 1, and we are kicking out. Seraphine is not happy with that. And he is not happy with that pounce. Los Satanicos are getting a whole lot more than they bargained for. Grigori stalking his prey and sticking that elbow drop. Seraphine is not looking too healthy, and Grigori is stretching him out with the armbar. I don't want to call it too early, folks, but we might be seeing a hat trick from the Kalishnikov brothers tonight. Grigori hitting the old tried and true ground and pound. This Linwood crowd is Team Kalishnikov all the way, and these brothers are giving them exactly what they want. And thankfully, what they want is nothing ridiculous this week, because I don't want to see that damn Minotaur and Cyclops again. And knowing my luck, we're probably going to end up with a female Minotaur and a female Cyclops at some stage. Seraphine rallying with a salvo of strikes and hitting back with a wheelbarrow arm drag. If Nikolai would move a little to the right, I could see this match, but here we go again. Oh, look at that Kalishnikov special. Is that enough for the pin? Let's find out. Pin gets broken up by Elio, but let's see that again. I never get tired of seeing the Kalishnikov special, and that was a beautiful intercept on Grigori's part. If Seraphine can't get the tag to his brother, he is monumentally screwed, and he is going into the corner. Folks, I do believe we are gonna see it. This is a little something the brothers call the Trans-Siberian Express. Seraphine stacked up and boom! Let's see that again. Unlike the proverbial gravy train, you do not want the Trans-Siberian Express coming back around. And this has got to be curtains for Los Satanicos. Going for the pin. 1, 2, 3. Kalishnikov brothers take the victory. Let's go see some highlights from Ernie the cameraman. And I gotta say, folks, what we saw here from the brothers Kalishnikov was some brilliant strategy. By isolating the smaller and weaker Seraphine and cutting off his retreat to his brother, They turned this match into a 2 versus 1 handicap, and the math was against Los Satanicos. They rode that Trans-Siberian Express all the way to victory, and the next stop is gonna be the championship match with Urban Legion. Congratulations to the Kalishnikov brothers, Nikolai and Grigory, on their 3rd victory in a row. Thankfully, the black magic of Los Satanicos was largely kept at bay during this match. Mostly thanks to the protected magic egg I purchased from the Coven, but that's neither here nor there. I don't want to jinx it, folks, but I can absolutely see the brothers Kalishnikov becoming our next men's tag champions. But then again, I could be horribly wrong. Folks, I don't think we've ever had a champ issue an open challenge like Hamish Gunn has done tonight. Any wrestler on the roster can step up and take their shot, and I have been speculating wildly all night about who that's gonna be, and I gotta say, the suspense is killing me. So without any further ado, let's go ringside right now and find out who the challenger is gonna be. The following LWL Men's World Title match is an open challenge scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, our current LWL Men's World Champion. From Wick, Scotland, he is the Gallowglass, Hamish Gunn. As I said before, folks, we have never had a champion throw out an open challenge like this before. And I gotta say, it's a pretty ballsy move on the part of Hamish Gunn. Anybody on the men's roster could come stepping down that ramp, but the Gallowglass is confident that he can defeat whoever comes his way. We still have no idea who the challenger may be, but my money is on Ymir the Frost Giant. Ymir wants that championship back, and he does not seem like he wants to wait for it. Although at this point, a rematch with Nero wouldn't be out of the question. Strong words from the champ. Let's see who takes the bait. Oh, you've got to be shitting me. I think I speak for everyone when I say this is the exact polar opposite of what we wanted. When I find out who the idiot that greenlit this is, I am not going to be a happy camper. And this is why we should have The Undertaker booking our shows, to make sure that crap like this doesn't happen. But I'll admit there is something strangely poetic about it. How many times have we seen Yo-Yo Brown come out here, get on the mic, and challenge Hamish Gunn to some ridiculous match or other? I'll bet anything that Hamish Gunn doesn't know who the hell Yo-Yo Brown even is. But then again, most people don't. He's a wrestling legend you've never heard of. If you're one of the many people who's never heard of Yo-Yo Brown, let me put it this way. My therapist charges me extra when we have to talk about Yo-Yo Brown. But today is Yo-Yo's lucky day, and he is getting the match he has dreamed of. But it's going to be a case of be careful what you wish for. I'm just going to be really blunt with you folks. This one was not on my bingo card today. But as I've said before, our champ Hamish Gunn is the real deal. He is a restless wrestler. And this lumbering brontosaurus in the form of Yo-Yo Brown doesn't stand a chance. Yo-Yo Brown might have had his day, but then again so did the horse and buggy. And what the hell is Ernie the cameraman doing? That's okay, Ernie. I don't want to watch this match either. But it's my job, so I have to. At this point, I would give anything for our general manager Todd Sorensen to come out and say, haha, just kidding folks. Hamish Gunn will be facing a Minotaur and a Cyclops. Referee Zeka Jeremiah Best Jones rings the bell and this travesty of a match is underway, and Yo-Yo is running in with a Thiz press and a ground and pound. I feel truly embarrassed for the Gallowglass at this point, and he is clocking him with a flying shoulder tackle. Obviously, I'm no mind reader, folks, but one gets the feeling that Hamish Gunn is gonna let this old Brontosaurus get his stuff in for a few minutes and then put him down easy. That's what I'd do. And we got the roll up into the pin. And a kick out before the one. And folks, we are still working out all the kinks with Ernie's camera rig, so I apologize for those strange circles you saw earlier. The Gallowglass is not fazed by the Detroit original, and why would he be? Yo-Yo slipping the back and looking for a suplex, but Hamish Gunn has got the counter. We got some collar and elbow and the whip it to the ropes. Yo-Yo goes low and tags him in the gut with a punch. We got a stiff headbutt from the Detroit original, and if Hamish Gunn's not taking this seriously, you can bet Yo-Yo Brown is. It's the most attention he's had in decades, and he is lapping it up. The Gallowglass ramping things up with a few chops. We got the belly-to-belly suplex. If Yo-Yo Brown gets out of pocket, the champ is not afraid to put him in his place. And we got the drive into the corner. Yo-Yo going up, and we may be seeing it. Nope, we are not seeing an avalanche. At least not at this stage. We got another whip into the ropes and another punch to the gut. Yo-Yo Brown is not known for his deep bag of tricks, and we have probably seen all the moves in his arsenal. Probably. But in all seriousness, folks, there is a fine line between putting Yo-Yo Brown in his place and straight up elder abuse in front of a live crowd, and I am hoping we don't drift into the latter. We got another drive into the corner. Yo-Yo is getting way more than he bargained for. Hamish Gunn with the full Nelson, and Yo-Yo is going into the turnbuckle. He is getting straight up ragdolled by the champ. This match was off the rails before the start, and I have no way of knowing where or how it's gonna go. And I am just glad I am safely under this announcer's desk. But pity me not, good people of Linwood, for I have all the creature comforts right here under this desk. I got a comfy cushion, I got a fridge full of off-brand cola, vinyl record player, and I just got myself a new coffee maker. We got the up and over into the fireman's carry, and Yo-Yo goes face first into the ropes. I'd say the Gallowglass isn't playing around, but if anything, this is like a day at the beach for him. We got the whip and a little ballet, and the Gallowglass goes over the ropes. And back in the ring. This must be the biggest opportunity Yo-Yo Brown has had in decades, and he is looking to get his shots in. But the Gallowglass has something to say about that. We got the intercept and a belly-to-belly suplex. Even though this might be a day at the beach, Hamish Gunn is not taking any of Yo-Yo Brown's crap. Up he goes, and boom goes the powerbomb. This stalwart Scotsman is no doubt thinking about what he's going to cook in the deep fryer after this match. And Yo-Yo Brown has rolled out of the ring. We are going to the cardboard. We are taking a little bit of an adventure. We got the whip, some ballet, and the Gallowglass gets rammed into the barricade. The Detroit original posting the champ on the barricade, and what has he got planned? Yo-Yo reaching for his waist, and yo no soy marinero. Let's see that again. I am a sucker for a good avalanche. And even I got to admit, this avalanche suplex off the barricade was pretty cool. And you've got to wonder, how much did it hurt landing on the cardboard? If Yo-Yo Brown came out here to get his stuff in, he is indeed getting it in. We got the whip and the ballet, and we are going back into the ring. Hamish Gunn looking to rally the crowd to his side. The champ is back in the ring, and this match is back on the rails. And he goes down to an errant punch from Yo-Yo Brown, and we got the Thiz press and another ground and pound. The Detroit original looking to raise the roof. And I have no idea how he keeps that gold chain from getting damaged. Even Razor Ramon took his off, and we are gonna see the Yo-Yo drop. Down he goes. There is something simple and satisfying about the Yo-Yo drop. So let's see it again. In an age where every wrestler can do a moonsault, sometimes it's nice just to see some good fundamentals. but those fundamentals are... the hell are you doing? I'm sorry, folks. Alright, John, get it together. This commentary is serious business. We've got to control patience. If nothing else, this match has managed to be entertaining. We got these two competitors trading blows the same way you and I might trade bubblegum cards. Is that still a thing? When I was a kid, my mum wouldn't let me and my brother watch wrestling, so the closest we could get was collecting wrestling trading cards. And back in those days, every pack had a stick of bubblegum. And we got a Russian leg sweep from the Detroit original. No, don't do it again, I can't. Yo-Yo strutting like the cock of the walk, and we got the drive into the corner. The Gallowglass has had enough of Yo-Yo Brown's silliness, and to be honest, so is my funny bone. And are we gonna see an avalanche? The Detroit original is looking in very rough shape. Down he goes. Oh my god. That one actually looks like it did some damage, and I'm really hoping that our staff veterinarian Francesca is on hand to throw in the towel. Yo-Yo Brown has got to be regretting accepting that open challenge. Oh, good God, please stay away from the announcer's desk, you two. Yo-Yo Brown gets sent on a jog across the cardboard. He is getting back on his feet and taking a shot to the bread basket. Oh, that didn't turn out too well. Look, guys, I would be lying if I said I was Yo-Yo Brown's biggest fan, but for God's sakes, please just bring this one home. We are dangerously close to crossing another line, and I've got to say, champ, you've made your point. I don't think Yo-Yo Brown will be challenging you again. At least we hope not. Knowing our luck, he's probably going to be itching for a rematch. We are also getting dangerously close to a countout. If Yo-Yo... Good gravy, where the hell did that come from? Let's see that again. Just to add a little insult to injury, Yo-Yo Brown finds himself crushed by an airborne Scotsman. We got a reset on the ring count, and it is only going to get worse from here. The Gallowglass takes Yo-Yo Brown by the scruff of the neck, and we are going back in the ring. If the Detroit original has any kind of miracle up his sleeve, now would be the time to whip it out. And my God, could this be that miracle? Down goes the Gallowglass. There is still life left in this leathery old brontosaurus yet. And folks, we are about to see it. We have got the one. There goes the two. And that makes 3 homies. Let's take another look. For God's sakes, how am I supposed to do serious commentary with that kind of nonsense going on? These 3 homies came to the rescue in Yo-Yo Brown's hour of need, and they have always got his back. Things are starting to look a lot less bleak for the Detroit original, and he is posting up top. He is daring the champ to get back on his feet. In the very unlikely event that Yo-Yo Brown can win, we may have a new champion. There goes the falling hammer fist, but the champ saw that one coming. He is determined to put Yo-Yo Brown in his place, and that place is the corner. And we are gonna see it, folks. Boom! There goes the caber toss. Will that brutal move be enough for the pin? What? Oh, how the hell did he kick out of that? Let's see that again. Not a lot of people can kick out of a caber toss, so we've got to tip our hats to Yo-Yo Brown for that one. This senile, incontinent old man has taken a lot more punishment than any of us thought he could. The Gallowglass is daring him to get to his feet. Hamish Gunn going airborne, and that falling axe handle hit the mark. The champ grabs Yo-Yo Brown by the scruff of the neck, and my God, how has it taken us this long to see first blood? We got the tried and true scoop slam, dumping him on the mat. Posting up on the middle rope, and there goes a massive elbow drop. Judging by the bruises and welts all over the Detroit original's body, this match can't have that much further to go. I think we're about to see something special here, folks. And here it comes. Boom! That was the Bannockburn driver. 1, 2, 3. Hamish Gunn retains the championship title. Let's go see some highlights from Ernie the cameraman. I'm gonna be blunt with you folks. At times, I have been Yo-Yo Brown's biggest critic, but even I have to admit, this match was better than it had any right to be. While it would have made a lot more sense to see Emir the Frost Giant step up to the challenge, when has good booking ever been our strong suit? Nevertheless, a leathery old fossil came out and got his stuff in, the champ retained the title, and the levy holds for another day. We can only hope that Yo-Yo Brown has learned his lesson about calling out the champ. And while I may have been pleasantly surprised with this match, I absolutely positively do not want to see a rematch. This match was skirting perilously close to elder abuse in front of a live crowd, and we do not need any more black eyes on this promotion. God knows we've got enough already with one thing and another. Congratulations to the Gallowglass Hamish Gunn for his second title defense. A victory over an old man with a tenuous grasp on reality is still a victory nevertheless, and all victories should be celebrated. And one can only hope the champ doesn't get too many more victories like this on his resume, because that would just plain old be embarrassing. Well folks, I'm sorry to say, but that is all the time we have this week. As always, I just want to take the time to thank each and every one of you wonderful people for tuning in and watching this show. If it weren't for all of you, I'd just be another middle-aged loser playing with puppets on the internet and bouncing one-liners off his dog. Don't get me wrong, I'm still all that, but you wonderful people make me so much more. Be sure to tune back in next week for a show that is exactly the same and yet completely different. So until we meet again, dear viewer, this is your good buddy John, the commentator, signing off and signing out.